Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, the biggest bailout in history is currently unfolding, with the American government announcing that they are to directly send $1,000 to every American. That's not even half a joke. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that they are to send checks to Americans immediately. Americans need cash now. The president wants to get the cash in their pockets now, or at least within the next 2 weeks. The proposed payroll taxes over months, while this is much faster, it can be done pretty quickly and accurately. Mnuchin said that they don't want to give $1,000 to people earning $1 million a year. But Donald Trump, the U.S. president, said that they want to ensure these checks go out as soon as possible. They said we have to do this now, Mnuchin said, with Trump stating that there are 4 to 5 ways they can do this. Further details to be provided later as a whole package is to be announced to ensure Americans get the money in their pockets quickly, but also for businesses, airlines, etc. Among other measures, $300 billion in tax payments can now be deferred for 90 days. For anyone that owes up to $1 million or any company that owes up to $10 million US dollars. I saw this news. I thought it was fake. I saw the press conference. I thought that was fake. Nope. Lo and behold, it is actually real. This news is everywhere. For those of you who may not remember, I remember even when I was younger, after the events that took place 19 years ago in September, you should know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember this also happening as well. The president back then also announced, I think every American got a check as well. I think it was like $400. I remember the exact number. This, however, seems a bit more severe, the current situation. So what apparently is happening is, from what I've been reading around, Steve Mnuchin and the current U.S. president want to, I believe, from what I've heard, I keep seeing various numbers. I believe that they want to send $1,000 to every American. And I think they said if the situation continues until around August, I think there would be another $1,000 check. The entire idea is there are a lot of businesses that are failing, that are crumbling, that are especially smaller businesses. In other countries, this is also being discussed as well. There are a lot of people who are maybe performers, maybe work in bars, restaurants, cafes, whatever the case might be, and their businesses aren't, faring really well when you don't have any customers. So back to America, the idea is that the same exact thing is happening over there, and therefore they want to give everyone money. Apparently, there was another conference or something that took place immediately after. You can Google it, find it. It's definitely somewhere on the internet. There were, I believe, 2 or 3 Democrats who came forward and said that they want to actually give, I believe it was $4,000 to every American. And I think the proposal was, if you have a family of 4, I think you would get, I think it was $14,000 between now and October if you were a family of 4. The entire point is, it appears, or rather, from what I remember when I was younger, and I'm sure this holds true as well, the idea is you give the public money not only for their well-being and survival, but that so companies, businesses, and all these other things have a huge cash injection inside of them as well. If people can't go to work, they don't have any money. If they don't have any money, the economy goes down. If you give them the money to push back into the economy, well, things start looking a bit more normal than than they previously did. But yeah, this news is actually everywhere. Check it up, especially if you are in America. I assume this will probably benefit you in some sort of way. I assume the $1,000 proposal will be the easier one to push through, as opposed to the $4,000 per person. I think it's $4,000 per person if you're over 18. And yeah, anyway. It's going to be an interesting journey, because I wonder what's going to happen when people get this money. I don't think it's any more of an if. At some amount of money will be given to the American public. I know a handful of people who are probably exclusively pushing this directly into crypto, which is really interesting to think about. If the entire American public had actually pushed all their money exclusively into Bitcoin, what would happen to the market and to the price and how, whatever, I'm not going to blah, 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 whatever, blah, blah, blah. The point is, this has also been proposed by other countries in an effort to re-inject cash back into markets. Anyway, that's, like I said, I saw this, didn't believe it, looked around. It's apparently true. That's your, at least part of your news that's everywhere news. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, last week, the crypto market experienced a deadly sell-off that took most of the digital asset prices down by 50% or more in most cases. The sell-off, however, was mostly fueled by short-term investors, leaving those in crypto for the long term mostly unfazed by the recent collapse. The massive sell-off across traditional markets spilled over into the crypto market last week as things kept on happening, but the sell-off was almost immediately fueled by short-term investors according to the on-chain data. Crypto market data aggregation firm Coinmetrics has released a report studying old coins that have come back into circulation after being untouched for a specific period of time. The report reveals that roughly 281,000 Bitcoin were moved that were previously untouched for over 30 days, but the amount of Bitcoin untouched for a year or more that was suddenly moved reached around 4,131 Bitcoin. This suggests that almost all of the sellers were near-term sellers, likely buying the asset in late December in anticipation of the asset's value increasing ahead of the halving this May. Notably, the sell-off was the fourth largest decrease in Bitcoin held over 30 days, suddenly on the move during the last 8 years. Tying directly into this, and I guess it kind of makes sense. Whenever we have a massive sell-off in the cryptocurrency market, we always, about a good 4, 5, 6, 7 days later, have a number of analysts who look through everything and they go, why did this happen? Where did this come from? Who was selling off? It appears that a large amount of the people who sold off were people who were hoping for a massive spike up in May during the actual halving. Like I said, tying directly into what we just read. A flurry of Bitcoin whale activity is underway as the price of Bitcoin climbs back above $5,200 in the last 24 hours. Some of the biggest investors have moved a total of 107,000 Bitcoin, worth around $566 million at the time of writing. The largest single transaction sent 47,000 Bitcoin, worth around $252 million between two wallets of unknown origin. There's a thing from Whale Alert. According to Whale Alert, six of the 14 largest whale transactions sent in the last day involve Bitcoin being sent from unknown wallets to crypto exchanges where it could possibly be sold on the open market. 2 of the transactions sent crypto from exchanges to unknown wallets. And here are the actual transactions right there. New data from blockchain analysis firm CryptoQuant suggests that whales were gearing up to sell huge amounts of Bitcoin well before the market's major crash that began in earnest on the 12th of March. The numbers show the amount of Bitcoin being deposited on crypto exchanges began ramping up on the 8th of March. The move suggests a coordinated effort to sell Bitcoin was already brewing, according to CoinDesk analyst Omkar Godbol. So, as it stands right now, the information that we had before, or the speculation had been that the cryptocurrency market had moved down simply out of sheer panic. According to this analytics firm, they say that a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of the ones that were sold off, were already being moved to cryptocurrency exchanges even before the sell-off had happened, which may have, listen, if news had happened on the 8th, that could have made the people who were whales believe that the stock market was going to go down. This could have been the moment that they started moving their coins to cryptocurrency exchanges. When stock futures looked bad, they could have all then been like, okay, let's start selling because we know their prices are going to go lower. It's all very fascinating, especially, I mean, any market, whales control anything. If you've ever been in the stock market and you've owned 15 stock of something, believe you me, there's always somebody out there who owns about 75,000 of that stock. and they may be able to move markets. Whales are everywhere. There are people who own 30,000 apartments. If they sold 30,000 apartments in your town or your city, real estate prices would also collapse. So the point is, it appears at the moment that whales pushed the price down, and they kept on pushing it down, and everyone else started panicking, but these people had enough selling power that they also brought the prices so low that other people started panicking. But apparently, long-term holders didn't really sell off anything. I can't think of one long-term holder who I know who sold during the actual drop. Anyway, this is the why news for the moment. I have not sold. I'm not going to sold. I'm going to continue buying. But at least we have an answer to why prices dropped. I mean, it's always the whales. It's always the freaking whales. No matter what we do every single time, it's always the whales. It's always the answer. There's never been like a... I can't even think of something quirky enough to say. It's always the whales every single time. Anyway, that's the whale news for Bitcoin today. Let's move on. Next up, in confusing news, and you'll see why it's quite confusing, the government of India has informed Lok Sabha, the lower house of parliament, about the Ministry of Corporate Affairs inspection of cryptocurrency businesses. Minister of State and Finance and Corporate Affairs, Anurag Singh Thakur, provided details on two companies in particular. This follows the landmark ruling by the company's Supreme Court, which quashed the banking ban imposed by central banks, the Reserve Bank of India. Minister of State for Finance and Corporate Affairs, Shri Anurag Singh Thakur, answered several questions in Lok Sabha on Monday regarding the government's inspection of Bitcoin companies. He specifically mentioned two crypto companies. They are Zeb IT Services Limited and Akoin Technologies Limited. According to Lok Sabha's records, the questions concerned fraud by Bitcoin companies. Particularly, Thakur was asked about companies dealing in Bitcoin that were repeatedly violating rules laid out by the Corporate Affairs Ministry for not filing annual balance sheets. I don't really feel like reading much further because the article just kind of continues. Apparently, according to the information, the Indian government is now going around inspecting different cryptocurrency exchanges, companies, by saying that they're doing things incorrectly. The companies are coming forward and saying, no, we actually filed our taxes for 2017 and 2018, and we're getting them ready for 2019. And also, it's not in this article anywhere, the last week, there have apparently, I'm not in India, apparently a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges or other people trying to deal in crypto have been trying to open up bank accounts or sending money, and banks are still banning their transactions, which is once again illegal because the Supreme Court said it was illegal, but it's still happening, and I think that nothing is actually being done about it, so it's kind of weird. I think... how do I say this? In the current times that we're in, it appears that many banks around the world are maybe coming to the conclusion that we will soon potentially be living in a hyper-digitized, cryptocurrency-fueled blockchain world. Many places may not be ready for this. They may be slightly opening up the door so that someone can kind of get a finger in so that they can kind of enter the market. But I assume a lot of this also has to do with fear. Fear that new things will take you over before you fully realize what they are. Once again, this is all just stuff that's kind of floating around in my head. I've heard a lot within the last week about the proposals for digitization of cash, as it were, simply because of current events. I don't know. It's always a little, I mean, obviously this is all speculative. I'm not in that country. I'm not part of parliament, so I can't really exactly say. However, the constant pushback against cryptocurrencies, you don't push back against something or fear something that you have no reason to fear. So anyway, and then for the confusing part as well, no. The leading cryptocurrency exchange by volume, Binance, and India's own exchange, WazirX, are setting up a blockchain fund in the Asian country for $50 million. Dubbed Blockchain for India, the fund's mission is to invest in blockchain startups focused on solving industrial and social problems. Last year, Binance acquired several companies based in other countries to expand its reach even further. One of them was the Indian-based cryptocurrency exchange WazirX. Months later, followed a successful IEO on the Binance Launchpad that raised $2 million. The fund's purpose is to invest in blockchain-based startups, according to the statement. The investment will include fiat to digital assets gateway solutions, trading platforms, payment and remittance services, digital asset wallets, stablecoins, DeFi platforms, and more. Binance, WazirX, and a slew of other companies are, I assume, have been given the go-ahead to start doing these things within India. It's a really weird situation because we keep getting... Remember when the ban, air quotes, was still in effect, but there were still other companies, and that one major company, what are they called? ZebPay. Sorry for screaming. ZebPay, reopened in India during the ban, but other companies weren't allowed to reopen during the ban. I feel like there's a bit of selective openings happening within that country. It's probably, if you have enough money, then you are being given the green carpet because it's money. Get it? Because the carpet's green. Anyway, India is huge. A lot of people there, and it's expected that if they are, if the bank kind of gets it together, allowed to actually get into the cryptocurrency space, that the cryptocurrency space would grow exponentially. However, with all the conflicting stuff, and I assume I give it a month, we're probably going to hear about the closures of cryptocurrency exchanges by the government, who are going to figure out in some point that someone has done something illegal. They didn't file their taxes early enough. It's always going to be something. Anyway, conflicting results, answers, media, news, web stuff, just about every other day. Hopefully, here's yet another article about it. Hopefully it works out. They could be a major player in the space, but as of right now, the reports seem to be that money is flowing in, but for other places, they're being shut out. Anyway, that's the Binance WazirX India money news, and let's move on. And to kind of finish things off, Grammy-nominated rapper and entrepreneur Akon has shared his white paper for the cryptocurrency project known as Akoin. According to a report by Cointelegraph, the news outlet was able to receive a copy of the white paper for Akoin ahead of its release. The document describes the project as a cryptocurrency designed for entrepreneurs in the rising economies of Africa and beyond, with a mission statement to unlock the potential of the world's largest growing workforce using blockchain technology. The white paper emphasizes Akoin's utility to facilitate atomic swaps, between existing cryptocurrencies, fiat, and mobile phone credits, with the latter being a popular form of payment in certain parts of Africa. He said, and I do quote, "We have so many currencies in Africa. A lot of them are unstable, and most of them are untrusted. It got to the point where the day-to-day African people don't even use the currencies anymore. They're using their cell phone minutes, and credits as a way of trading for basic goods like produce, fish, fruits, and things on the market," end quote. Akon explained that Africans have difficulty trading cell phone credits outside their villages and local communities. He said Akoin's network is focused on facilitating swaps and providing flexibility for alternative forms of money. He continued, but it's probably the same as this. This news is in a lot of places. Here's the actual, I think it says it somewhere down here as well, that they took some of the information from Cointelegraph. Here's the actual original Cointelegraph article. Here's the actual white paper right here for Akoin. And the only reason I'm mentioning this, I have a very good friend. He knows who he is. He is, I don't want to use the word obsessed. He likes this project a lot. He thinks it has a lot of promise based on his research. This is not an endorsement. I promise you that from me. This is not me telling you to go out and buy the coin. It's more like a, while everyone's cooped up in the house anyway, why not maybe read? Maybe you might like something about this. It's more like a, sometimes I tend to push things aside that I myself don't care for when they could in the future be something particularly incredible, amazing, but only time will tell. The point is, I mention this because I know that there are some people who are interested, and my friend has been telling me about this for the last couple of days, that I should read it. I should look at exactly what it is. Once again, not an endorsement. It's more like a, this has happened. It has happened. Here's the information if you want to read about the Akoin white paper. Have at it. No one knows. That's the major thing. I could not have told you 12 years ago that someone in a room on a computer would have created a currency that is rivaling world currencies right now. So I don't know if by the next 25 years, if Akoin is going to be the #1 coin. I personally don't believe so. However, no one knows the future, so there you go. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University. Yasha Harari is back. Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Josh Gorsica, Chongololo, Tsongololo, John Sarson, Mr. Pickles, Nostromo, the Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Bare Bones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Brady Niels, 242 to the world, Crypto Joe, Bangro Network, Adobo, Mill Wheezy, Crypto Artist, Cole D, 3D, Nicholas Renner with One Piece, One Love, Richie Rich the Third, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna, Damien, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Biz, Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest every day. Kyle, just keep skipping those leg days. Almost said something else, but I was like, no, don't say it. Yes to crypto. Bodemic Boatface, Anytime Fitness, Mark's Corner Staff, ARF, Medic 17, Bake Me a Take. Bake Me a Cake. Tigger Macho Nisa on Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle. What's wrong with me? Crayola Michelle URL. And hold on. Have to sneeze. One of these days, I'm actually going to have to sneeze and no one's going to know what's going on anymore. Thank you all very, very much for your support. And thank you tremendously to everyone who is a supporting member of the channel and who has clicked the little join button below. At the moment, market's in red. It was green before I started. But yeah, Bitcoin I think dropped by around $180 within the last hour or so. It looks like it's trying to pick itself back up. Assumption time, I think it's going to finally fall below 5,000 today. That'll be when I attempt to feast, because I think I'm still expecting lower lows simply because the world. However, it's impossible to say because even Dash is up by 7%. Why is Dash up by 7%? Who the Dash knows? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all have, tried to have, are having, are managing to have, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. If you are in America, look into this because, actually, quick question. What are you going to do with your money that you get if you are in the States right now? Will you invest it? Will you buy other things? Because I at least have, I have at least 5 friends off the top of my head. I can tell you who are either going to buy sneakers, buy a new TV, or buy something else that they don't need. I like to hear what people are gonna do Especially if it's 4,000. If it's 4,000, I think I'd kind of freak out. Because I have a lot of stuff I want to get. I'll tell you, I don't care. If it is 4,000, I'm probably allocating 2,500 directly into crypto. I want to say 1,200 into art. Immediately. There's so much art I want to buy. And the last 300, I guess maybe I'll like save in case I find like another investment, or maybe I'll use it during like summer holidays or something. No, that's a lie. I know I'm going to invest it. Anyway, let me know what you would do, because I'm always fascinated to see. Maybe you have something I've never thought of and I could be like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. But as of right now, I would probably 4,000. What's the price of Bitcoin? Yeah, I'd probably put the whole thing into Bitcoin. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all. Like rambling on, like, what would I do with money? Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. Take care of yourselves and everyone else. Be mindful. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.